Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We have found an abandoned location in the hills by Ivanpah, California.
In the Mojave Desert at the Mojave National Preserve. And we found this abandoned mill, the Goldome Mill, meaning abnormal growth of gold. Out of the optimism and the fortunes of those who invested in the venture, the construction of this site is very modern and industrial. All of the buildings are metal construction and probably built during the late 1970s or early 1980s. All of this milling equipment is left behind. And let me tell you, there's a tremendous amount of industrial machinery and motors inside this location, and we're going in.
Let's continue on and see what's in here. It looks like it's a mixing vat of some sort. If anybody knows exactly what that is, let me know, but it looks like it had some kind of a mixer in that vat there. Just kind of walking around these big stir vats, as you can see, there's just a lot of graffiti, but this is a crazy location. It's just time to take a look here and see what's... Yeah, so all of these stir vats. What is this place? Feels pretty secure.
Now, this is no ghost town, but it definitely is abandoned industrial. And it gives you almost the same feeling. When you look around and see all this heavy machinery and realize that it used to operate, and now just covered in graffiti and amazing artwork. It's really something to see. Now, the Goldome Mill is an abandoned mill site, and it is located in the San Bernardino, California area of the New York mountains. This is just off Ivanpah Road, and wait till you see in the next video what we found off Ivanpah Road besides this location.
Graffiti finds itself in the most mysterious places. This is in the middle of the desert. We didn't even know it was on this road. Bottom floor inside.
Well, this is probably the largest location that we've ever explored. And this one just kind of draws you in. Even though it's a little nerve-wracking going around these corners, not knowing what's next. And checking out some of these metal scaffoldings and things that you have to walk on, it gets a little testy. But it draws you in. So that's what we're going to do, is go right in the bottom floor, up the stairs, and see what's in this building. Every time I took a step, I had to check it because I didn't know if it was going to be structurally sound or not, but it was. And we did explore. As you're walking through here, you can hear the wind and the metal slapping the tin around on the side of the building. And the funny thing about it is, when you're in here by yourself, you don't know if it's somebody else making the noise or if it is just the wind. And that's what makes it a little bit scary. And if you've never been in here before and never been around these corners or in these doorways, it gives you a pretty unsettling feeling. This is looking from inside out at the sculptures that were cut into the building. And that's where the wind was slapping that metal around, because it was a little loose out there. And the heavy industrial machinery, right? It's these big motors and big wheels. It's just really a creepy vibe inside here. And looking down this hallway at this giant conveyor that was bringing ore up from the bottom.
It's a little scary for me. This is about 30 feet in the air in an old abandoned warehouse or factory, and very interesting location. Here's a giant tunnel with a conveyor belt where they used to run things down, as you can see here. All the way at the end, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Ha! Funny, light at the end of the tunnel.
So many ladders and stairs to go up and check out all these new levels.
Now that tunnel we were looking down runs under the ground from here all the way down. Comes out that direction.
There's just no shortage of things to check out. And when you're up here on top and you hear the wind whistling through and realize how far out in the desert you are. Again, it's just a little bit creepy up here at this location. Not even a car in sight.
As you can see here, the milling operation. The conveyors. It looks like it goes underground over here. And this is in the back, behind this conveyor. Look at the artwork in here. To a lot of great artists. Looks like there's a little operator's booth up there where they used to operate this conveyor. Boy, you know, it's pretty sturdy. As heavy as this is built, I don't feel that it's gonna break or anything. There's still heavy welds and nothing's rusting it out. The old electrical panels, like fuses type things, and looks like they took a lot of it out. But there's still quite a bit here existing, the old panels where everything was hooked up. Look at the size of this machinery though. I mean, is it worth it to try and grab it for scrap and get it off the hill with the price of scrap metal? I don't know. It would take a lot to dismantle this. You look at how heavy it is put together. Look at the size of the bolts and nuts on this thing holding it together. And a big switch there with a cable all geared up and locked up.
This is such a massive property. It just seems like it goes on forever.
There are still some giant motors in this building. You can hear me echoing here, but some giant vats, giant motors. That obviously turned, probably to crush rock or something. And then down here, there was a trough. It looks like where water ran or where drainage came through here. Well, you can sure hear the metal rocking in the wind. And that's the backside of where the other sculpture was cut out of the side, out of the tin on the building. And we'll show you that in the front. Here's what I was talking about. You can see where the metal has been cut all the way through here to make that painting on, or the mural on the side of the building.
Ooh, that's not creepy. Coming around the corner seeing Pennywise staring at you. And the other thing is that bees live in the area, and some say that killer bees could have been what I was hearing in one of these buildings. And you got to watch out for those Mojave greens. They're one of the deadliest snakes in the nation. Aggressive and more neurotoxins than any snake in the United States. As I'm walking through this area here, this has to be like the operator's area. You could see that there was some walls that they took out, but then you can see like a little booth and some chairs and a lot of areas where they kept files and parts, probably quick fuses and things to fix some of the machinery. But you can just imagine this being full of people that were operating this location and that machinery running, but now all you hear is silence with a little metal slapping around in the wind.
On these big vats or stir vats, whatever they are, it looks like they cut with a torch some pretty thick metal. It looks like it's about a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch thick. And they've cut through in detail and then painted around this art. So we were told by Mayor Jim at the last town that we did, that this was out here, but I'll tell you what, we had a hard time finding it. This is way out here. Some of this looks like it's a much older operation, like with this sediment pond and that wood construction. Definitely looks older than what this building is. So maybe there was an operation here before, and I just don't know about it, and they put this newer operation up. Giant old tank here with a skull and crossbones on it. But they've cut this into the tank. Boy, that is a thick piece of metal. That almost looks like 1/2 inch, or at least 3/8. And they've really cut that skull and crossbones in there. And you can hear an echo inside that tank, even from out here. Just that little hole makes it echo. Looked like this might have been an office storage area or something like that, because it has a little bit of tile flooring on it. Some graffiti around the walls again, but this is like a big warehouse that's here.
Now, this site was abandoned in 1998 following the formation of the Mojave National Preserve by the California Desert Protection Act in 1994, and it has slowly fallen into decay. But some may say that it has been vandalized. But what would it look like without all the artwork and graffiti? Just an old building sitting and decaying in the middle of the desert. Here's some great photos from this amazing and huge property. Now, as we head down the road, we're going to find another location we're going to share with you in the next video. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades. We'll see you in the next one.